Thank you.
And, let's see, Title VI also.
Title VI, as a recipient of federal funds, the City of Aurora offers a voluntary survey to gather statistical data regarding participants and beneficiaries of its federal aid programs and activities. The survey is to gather information about the populations affected by City of Aurora activities. If you need these surveys, I have them in my office.
Getting faster and faster with that thing.
Try to slow down.
All right, Benny?
The only thing I've got, oh, is it you?
It's me. My gosh.
The only thing I have really is make sure we get the claims paid. I know you guys got a chance to look at them and you already signed them, so we could do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, or the, you know what I meant, the financial report.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are working on the annual financial report. Maybe this meeting next month we'll have that. Fingers crossed. It's going well. They give us that until the end of February to get that completed, which is good. I got for you guys copies of the personnel policy all printed up, and then also our Rochester on the health insurance for 25 and 26 starting of the year. If you have any questions, just let me know. But otherwise, I apologize. I have to cut out. I'm going to the library. I'm on the library board as well, and I have double booked myself. I feel like Potsy on Happy Days, going from
Potsy.
Remember, he had a date with the two girls, and he had to go run back and forth. Maybe it wasn't Potsy, but are there any questions on financials as they are currently?
Thank you for getting us these, Benny.
And I should have the appropriation report as well. As we close out December, we'll be able to roll into January, and you'll get the actual appropriation report that you're used to seeing with the breakdown.
Can I get a printed copy of that?
And I'll print out. I'll print out
Thank you.
copies on there.
That one is hard to read.
It is, and I've tried to think of how to make it easier. And aside from the new software, which is a little bit costly, we may just have to live with it for a little while. So.
All right, anybody else? Anybody got anything else for Benny? All right, get out of here.
Thank you.
We'll see ya.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and while we're there already, I guess the minutes, has everybody got a chance to look at the minutes?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Minutes,
I'll
second?
second it.
Jonah, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next we're gonna move to, Austin, you wanna do that, or you want me to? Lions?
Yeah, I can. Last council meeting, the Lions Club had put in their request for $10,000. It was asked to see what that was gonna be spent on, perfectly reasonable. The Lions Club sent a letter explaining that. I've given it to all of you, so bring back up the topic and let me know what you think.
Basically, they're using the fund, $6,500 go for the parades, $3,500 for security. We get most of that back in security because it's our police, a lot of them down there anyway, so.
I make a motion to approve the $10,000 grant for the Lions Club.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Michelle, all in favor?
Yeah, Janae.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to vote?
Yeah.
Because I'm on the lines?
absolutely.
Okay, just making sure.
You can abstain yourself if you want.
That doesn't matter.
It's going to pass.
Abstain your vote.
I'm going to abstain, just so I don't
Okay.
mess anything
All
up.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Jonah abstain. All right, good deal. So we can have our parade this year in our Farmer's Fair. Farmer's Fair lives again. Jared, Woodlawn TIF resolution.
Gotcha. I got a couple of them, I'm trying to get them organized right now. This is going to be, I've got 3 different documents for you guys today. And so I think I gave you one already. And this just came from Pittman Hawk, there's 2, at like 4 o'clock today. So what these are collectively is you guys agreeing that planning and redevelopment has recommended a TIF or an economic area. Can you pass that down to those, these two? To it. So this is, the first one we're going to look at is what I've labeled 03, and 2026-03, and it's called an ordinance of the City of Aurora, Indiana, designating an area within the city as an economic development area. And so this is the Woodlawn Residential Economic Development Area. And basically pursuant to the Exhibit A, which I should have on the back there, is a picture of the Woodlawn area on the last page here. Basically what you're saying is that the Common Council finds that the area has become undesirable or impossible for normal development and occupancy because of the lack of development, cessation of growth, deterioration, improvements of character, occupant's age, obsolescence, standard building. So basically a litany of lists that why this would require to be an economic development area. And so the Common Council agrees with the EDC, which met earlier today, and redevelopment and planning that this is a good area for redevelopment. So do I have any questions from council on this? Okay. Just a real quick reminder, for ordinances to be passed on the first reading, we have to have a unanimous motion to do so, and then we have to have a vote. We have to have a supermajority, meaning all four of you once again have to vote. Normally, if Terry would be here, it'd be 4 out of 5 we need to vote to actually approve it. And that's just state law on reading it the first time. So can I get a motion, or unless anybody else has any questions, and I'm sorry. Question, okay. Can I get called for a motion to approve this on first reading?
Would you restate what we're approving on first meeting, the TIF?
No, this is not a TIF. This is an economic development area. So this is a precursor to a TIF, Pam?
Yeah.
So that's a good question. So what this is just saying, before you can do a TIF, you have to declare an area of land to be an economic development area.
Is there any other benefits to being an economic development area?
Yes. Yes, I can name 2 of them. There's another thing besides just grants. The other one is tax abatement. So you can do TIFs there, or you can do tax abatements, and then there's other types of economic relief you can do, but I'm not sure the third. But it's buried throughout the statutes, but those are the 2 that come to mind right away. So,
I had questions about tax abatement, but that's the other ordinance that we're looking at, right, that has
Yes.
something to do about that, so I'll wait on that. Okay.
I think, doesn't it, you can use your redevelopment can go through there.
yeah, there's like, redevelopment can do other types of planning there.
Yes.
So like if they want to do some structured sales or some other, like if they wanted, not TIF money, but if they wanted to use their own money to do something in the area, they would have power to take jurisdiction. It was like a consolidated plan, I think is one of the issues. Like, let's say you have an area of ground that you're like, hey, maybe we don't want to do subdivision, maybe we want to make this into a business park or something like that. It's not necessarily TIF, but you've decided that area that's the purpose of it moving forward, is like manufacturing businesses or the like.
So that's why we did all of Aurora's economic development. So if you, even because the TIF money doesn't come out of this area here in Aurora, say you wanted to build a parking garage, which I would love, you can use all that TIF money from everywhere else to use it in that spot. It's like putting it in a pot if you make it an economic development center.
That's a long answer.
There's a lot to it, but I mean, it just enhances the things that you can do with your redevelopment money.
Yeah, like I said,
It opens the box.
So,
Can we do this?
unfortunately, we can't because we're on a schedule to get it done next week.
Instead of saying, we wanted to do this here, we didn't have the money to do it, now we
We
can
do,
use all
we're
this
gonna have to do a
money.
special
Yes, we
meeting.
can do a project here to help somebody grow a business in town or something.
This is just saying that this is an economic development area, but is he saying that gives a control to redevelopment? That they
No,
make the
no,
decision?
no,
Okay, I was
no,
confused on
no.
what you just said.
Yeah,
I
so-
guess was my confusion.
So Michelle asked this question, she asked me, does this give control to the redevelopment, right? And, all this is it sets up an area to do TIF. I mean, you can't do TIF unless it's an EDC. Right now, an EDA, the whole city of Aurora besides Woodlawn right now is an EDA pursuant to our vote a couple months ago. So you guys already designated the city as something that needs economic development, right? And so we're adding, I think what Pittman's doing here by creating this is, I think Woodlawn's already in it, so don't quote me on that, but I really think we pass on that the whole city would be an economic development area. And I think he's just specifically doing this to keep his ducks in a row,
Oh, okay.
that this would also be an EDA.
So going back to your original motion, you want a motion to approve this in one night,
Well, approve, to vote on it,
to vote on it one night?
right,
I make a motion to vote on it in one night.
okay, after one reading. Do we got a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, none opposed. So now we have the actual motion to approve it, and like I said, I need basically all four of you have to vote, because Terry's not here, so I need
Right.
4 out of the 5. So do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve the
Second. All in favor?
resolution. Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. And this is this one, if we could pass that around for me,
Okay.
please. All right, with your permission, Mayor, can I go on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
So these are kind of we're gonna hit them.
There's-
There's no way for us to sign.
Then Pat swings in and signs.
So we don't have to sign?
You don't have to sign,
Okay,
Pat will sign
okay,
that one.
There we go.
I didn't make
It's
it,
all on you, Pat.
Probably has a card.
but we have to reflect in a minute. So, once again, this is now a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Aurora approving certain amendments to the plan for the consolidated Aurora Economic Development Area. So, this is what I was talking about, the whole city was approved. What happened, this is about the Dairy Queen. I think you guys, do you guys all see, I'm gonna name this 2026-04, certain amendments to the plan for the consolidated Aurora Economic Development Area. And you should see former Dairy Queen in parentheses.
Yes.
All right, so what this is a precursor to the plan that we're gonna try to capture, since if you all notice, they knocked down Dairy Queen.
Right.
They're gonna rebuild it, well, we wanna capture that TIF, that parcel that they're building on wasn't part of our TIF. And I'm not sure why we didn't include it, but it wasn't, so we're trying to capture that so we can get that tax increment of financing, since we already have it TIF'd right now. Any questions or anything like that?
So basically where the old Dairy Queen was part of it, but behind it?
Yeah, it's
was
like the,
not? Was it?
correct.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I think well, there wasn't anything
Because it
there.
was just
Why?
sitting empty?
Is this not taking out
Yeah.
Dairy Queen and that?
This is just approving certain amendments to the plan. So that, basically, they're approving what redevelopment has already done. So just so you know, redevelopment's already voted on this last Monday.
Okay.
Yep.
I second the
And
first one.
basically, to the way I understood it, now that Dairy Queen's knocked down, the value's down to 0, so that helps our TIF in the end when they build the new building, because now we're comparing it to 0, and now what it's being taxed at is 0 now, so the new building will be worth a lot more. Even with the old building, it would have been up against the old building, you know, the difference, but we're starting at 0 with the
That's-
new build.
You hit it.
Just like the
Yeah.
Popeyes.
Yeah.
Any other questions? That's Sherry hit it, that's it.
I was paying attention and redevelopment.
It's really exciting.
And we need a motion on this.
To,
Same issue to approve it on first reading. So I need a motion to hear it on first reading,
I'll make a motion to hear it on the first reading.
or pass on first reading.
I'll
Do I have a
second
second?
I'll second.
Pam, second there. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay. And now, if there's no further discussion, I call for a motion to approve this resolution 2026-04, approving certain amendments to the plan for the consolidated Aurora Economic Development Area.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Pat, once again, you can just sign
Do I sign this?
Nothing for us.
that. Well, actually, Jonay signs that.
That's what I thought.
What is she doing? Sorry, Pat. Good catch. Jonay, you actually get to sign this. There was a typo on it.
You gotta
Jonay.
pass it down.
Oh, yeah, because it says presiding officer.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I was
like, what is it?
Yeah.
But
That's my bad. I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
I saw that.
All right.
I would go ahead and sign that too if you would.
Now, the last resolution on Woodlawn. This is a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Aurora, approving a resolution of the Aurora Plan Commission, approving a resolution of the City of Aurora, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, designating and declaring the Woodlawn Residential Economic Development Area. So basically, you guys are agreeing that redevelopment agreed that planning would recommend this.
What's the resolution number, Jared?
2026-05.
Do we have that?
We don't have.
Here, I'm sorry, let me hand it out for you, so sorry.
I was confused, I was looking at the other one, I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same.
I got these late and I was rushing to put them together. There's one copy.
Keep these here so you don't get them mixed up and everything.
Good, there's 2 pages per each. I actually got a copy for you. What's wrong?
Here, I got it extra.
You got an
Oh,
extra?
no, here, I'll give it to you. Did you have enough? I got extra one if you need.
Actually, I got a lot of this one for some reason. I don't know. I was going crazy on the printer on this one, so.
Give me one of them.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so basically, just as I read in the title pretty much is a resolution in and of itself. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 16B of the Act, the Common Council determines that the declaratory resolution of the plan conform to the plan development for the city and approves the declaratory resolution, the plan, and the plan commission order. The determination that the economic development area constitutes an economic development area under that act is hereby approved pursuant to the act, and the determination of the allocation area is an allocation area pursuant to sections 39 and 56 of the act is hereby approved. The resolution shall be in full force in effect from and after passage by the Common Council. Any questions or anything?
I guess I'm just wondering why we have, like, so this, we're already saying we made it one, so why do we have this? Like, why do we have to
Because
have
the
two separate ones, I'm wondering?
You know, I asked Pittman the same question. It's basically the statute requires you. I think he's being a little bit overly
Just to make sure we have everything
protective.
covered. Okay.
But you know what? Here's the deal, Michelle. He wrote the book on tiffing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I kind of, I'll, you know, I probably wouldn't have done this much, but by God, that's why we're paying him the money to make sure we're covered.
I just wonder because they're essentially,
The same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against that.
okay.
Any other questions?
Motion to pass it on the first reading.
Yes, please.
I make a motion to pass this on the first reading.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now let's go for the big one. I call for a motion to approve Resolution 2026-05, resolution approving redevelopment's approval of the plan's recommendation.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2625.
Second, all in favor?
2625.
Aye.
All right. And once again, Jonah gets a
Council.
sign, and the mayor gets a countersign. We would get that fixed with Mr. Pittman.
Can you hand that to me, please?
You have some copies of it.
I have it here and I'm hiding them from you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. All right. So Mayor, I think that's it for the Woodlawn District.
Is that it?
That is it. Those are the 3. And we got the EDC one earlier, so I got all 4 of them done.
So you want to go ahead and go towards the annexation now?
Go, annexation ordinance, all right. So what I have, and I'll pass it out to you guys, this is the remake of the first reading. This is now our 3rd or 4th reading. I believe would be legitimately our 3rd reading. We've had some changes. November was our pretty much final reading, then we've had some changes even since then as to zoning. No, actually, I think the zoning was on there. We changed the tax abatement issue as to
Can you explain that some?
yeah, so basically what it is when you do annexation, you can actually forestall people's taxes up to a certain percentage. And so there's a recipe in there. You don't get to fully not include I mean, there's always gonna be a little bit of tax, but you can say, hey, just to ease you into moving into the city that you don't get whacked your first year coming in, you can actually abate the taxes for up to 3 years in an annexation area. And so it's not perfected yet, right? So the big issue is that after we pass this ordinance, we pass this ordinance, so we're obligated to move to the EDC and ask them to create with another EDA, an economic development area, to be the annexed area, right? And so we will be calling that very shortly. I talked to Mr. Pittman about it. It was kind of a curveball a little bit to put tax abatement at the last minute, but you know, it's one of those things that we're bringing a lot of people into the city, and it's You know, there'll be extra taxes. For some, there's gonna be lots of cost savings. Some people are gonna be charged extra taxes, and it was kinda like the right thing to do. But the issue, of course, is that we still have some more baby steps to go. One thing is that there'll be no impact on anybody's taxes this year for, you know, spring and November. It'll be next year that you'll probably see tax changes, where we'll start getting income from the annexation area, if we should so approve it. Is that, like, I don't know if I gave you a good answer.
That's
here,
because
Shay.
we're always a year behind on our.
That's right, we're always in the rears.
So is everybody gonna get tax abatement that it affects? And what about new builds in that annexed area?
They would get tax abatement as well. So one of the issues with the tax abatement, so I was talking to Pittman, is that it's not just as easy as everyone just, you magic wand, you get it. You actually have to come to the city and ask, can you take my property? And then we have to tell the auditor. So it's a little bit more work than just waving a magic wand. And so I will, of course, as part of the process to pass this, is that we have to give everybody notice again. And so I was hoping to do that tomorrow if this passes, and basically describing them the process of tax abatement and everything else like that. So, like I said, I'm learning a lot of it myself with Mr. Pittman's help. It's tough. I mean, basically, we have to communicate with the auditor, who then has to communicate with the treasurer about what the tax rates are gonna be in that area based on this formula we're putting on this one little document here. So there's a lot of communication that has to go a long way to make sure we can effectuate the tax abatement.
I think we should have a discussion about this,
Sure.
because my question is, what happens to the people who have a 3-year abatement, but we don't get their utilities and such to them by the end of that 3 years?
Everybody has utilities already except for, I think, Brett. And being annexed into the city, we are obligated to give him those utilities within that 3 years.
Well, the new buildings don't have them either, right? So
No,
Mark
but
would have-
the 16 units right now that are being built are already, there's already enough utilities there capable of building those buildings. To build any more buildings, then you would need more infrastructure. So they couldn't build any extra buildings until the infrastructure is upgraded.
Yeah, and my position on it, I think it's illegal to preference on if we do this, then we'll now charge you taxes. I think the issue is the law is exclusive. You can give 3 years and that's it. So there's no quid pro quo on taxes like anything else like that. So like I said, it's the best effort pursuant to law.
And also, people that's got utilities right now, they're gonna save, what, 15% on their water and sewage, and then
No, 21%. We actually,
to 21?
yes, I was working with Randy, and basically what it is, we actually went to the Indiana Rural Utility Commission and asked that we could charge more for people outside. So people outside are paying more than 15% over what we're paying pursuant to our rates. So it's actually gonna be almost a 17, 18% discount for everybody who's getting those utilities. So it'll hit the pocket, especially if you're gonna be commercial in there or not. Or I'm sorry, if you're gonna be commercial, you'll feel it. I mean, especially since, if you guys remember how we loaded our water and sewage ordinance, that we really put it on the shoulders of industry rather than the residents. And so, like I said, it's gonna be, you're gonna feel it. And so, when I created that, or when Reedy created it with my help, we worked on that map a lot to show what the savings would be. But that fiscal study will show you exactly what you're gonna save on utilities. And they worked out per parcel what you would save to get in.
Yeah, so that'll start as soon as it's annexed in.
And so for the tax abatement, the individual has to apply for that then?
Yes, I'm gonna try to create a cheat sheet for them when I give them notice, exactly how to do it. And of course, I mean, we've got 33 parcels coming in. So I think we should be able, we're a small town. I think I should be able to assist people in getting done with the process. Like I said, I didn't write it, it's a legislative process. But like I said, we're a small enough town that I probably can help people get through the abatement issue and make sure they know what they need to do. I think it's as easy as, dear mayor, abate me is really it, but I'm still checking into exact process on getting it. Any other questions? Well, how about this? We kind of jumped ahead a little bit. I do want to talk about what else is in this ordinance, right? So, you know, basically, the first whereases is basically me giving a litany of all the steps I had to follow to even get to this point. So, I mean, this has been a year-long process. We've had 6 meetings, we've had hearings. You know, I got to talk to a lot of good citizens that are possibly coming in here, and we try to address all of their needs and that fiscal impact. Basically talking about putting fire hydrants in. You know, we talked to the cemetery about what pluses we're going to give there. So really, it's been a long process. And so the authority and intent, that's the section 1. That basically is the enabling law that lets us do this in the first place. The findings, basically, you know, if the Exhibit A, that's our area. That's the sole area that we show on this is the sole area we are going to annex, as described by Mr. Stanger. 255.5 acres. That this is contiguous. That residents and owners of the territory already enjoy city services. The area functions as part of the city community. Inclusion with the city will allow responsible extensions of municipal interest. So basically, what we're saying there is that there's already infrastructure in there. There's facilities, sewer, water, gas. We don't do electricity, of course. But this will allow us to increase the infrastructure, thereby putting more of the general budget into doing stuff like that. You know, and we of course are talking about TIF too, that some of that, if we do TIF the yacht club as we're planning, that'll even give us extra revenue to increase that infrastructure for everybody. So annexation will allow the city to include the city cemetery. I think that's something historically, it was more of a battle than I thought it was going to be. I thought that would be awesome to have the cemetery. You know, Greendale has Greendale Cemetery. You know, Aurora Cemetery is not in Aurora. You know, who would have guessed? So I think that's really cool that that will be something that the city can now legitimately, you know, help with grants, do whatever they can to honor our ancestors in that cemetery. 2.5, basically talk about the yacht club plans on developing a condominium unit. You know, that's going to create growth, new citizens. You know, that's one thing, if you know, we've been aware of all these talks. One thing Aurora has, we have a decreasing population. So this is, of course, more development, more people that'll be part of the city of Aurora, which, you know, my argument is I think that's a good thing. So petition for annexation has been filed. So we've had basically stating that we've hit the code requirements of people petitioning to allow this to go forward. We did a community outreach, so we talked about all that. I already talked about that. So I put Beacon in there. That's where I got everybody's addresses and mailing and everything. A public hearing on the annexation was held on December 22nd, and prior to the option, there was a written fiscal plan established, a definite policy of the provisions of services to the territory in accordance with law. Description of the territory, that's section 3. Of course, that's you know, attached to Exhibit A. So municipal service plan, non-capital service. So basically, when you annex, you have to do non-capital and capital services. So we've kind of talked about some of the capital services. Non-capital is like not infrastructure, but services such as police services, fire services, ambulance. You know, Randy will come and help you dig your yard if you flood. I don't know, but I'm not going to promise. I take that back. We're not. But anyway, the city's here to help. Like, you know, I think one of the big things is, you know, the non-capital services is like snow removal. Like here we are looking at 18 inches and stuff like that. I mean, imagine you have the cities able to go out to that cemetery, clear it off, help people and do things like that. So police protection, our police are really not allowed to, I mean, of course they would in an emergency, right? I mean, we're not gonna ignore anything, but really they're supposed to just patrol this area. Now this will give them the ability to go down 56 a little bit more and secure safety and everything else like that in the area and respond to issues. I mean, Matt, I don't know. I mean, when there's a call for danger, you guys are usually the first ones there before fire and ambulance, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, you know, we always have, you know, officers patrolling, and now they get to patrol the area and to help with safety. Other things that, you know, it's not in this plan, but one of the soft costs is we get a little bit of control over NDOT on 56. I think that's been an issue for years, is that people are speeding and everything else like that. We get to dictate, we go, hey, we like, you know, slower speeds here. And things like that, and of course our officers will be patrolling it to make sure that you don't have people flying trying to jump hills there on 56 as they go to, the casino. Street maintenance, we talked about that. Basically, the city's now going to be responsible. There's not many streets. 56 is still going to be NDOT, but there are some minor roads as you get to the end by Lockery. So there will be some there. And then basically, I went backwards. So capital services next. Sanitary sewage, street construction, lighting, potable water, gas line increase. So we've got issues like fire hydrants, which was in the fiscal plan, which we'll be adding, that will decrease. Hopefully the savings on insurance will make up for any increases on the taxes. So that's another issue, that your hydrants do allow that. Now, section 5, zoning, this was a tough one. Basically, you're supposed to declare what the zoning is going to be. And so my mind was trapped that we have to make it residential, we have to make it business. Well, I started working on it, and it came to the point, talked to the mayor, talked to Austin, and what we did is we actually are going to adopt the county's zoning for this area, meaning that we are going to adopt and apply zoning districts that do not exist in our planning and zoning code, but exist in the county code. And so luckily, we're very blessed that the same people that enforce Aurora's zoning code are the county people. So they actually know how to enforce those zoning codes and whatnot, and can assist, of course, in doing it. Now, the problem, I'll tell you this real quick. This doesn't mean that the zoning is going to last forever. Planning, of course, can have a meeting, redesignate areas, and everything else like that. So,
I was gonna ask, so what if I had a property that was zoned industrial and I sold it? Does that follow
Yep.
that grandfather?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does, okay.
till you guys change it.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, I attached a zoning map. Of course, it's not color. I apologize for that. It makes a lot more sense if it's in color, but that's going to be our official copy.
Okay.
We'll have the color showing what everything is right now. Assignment to council district, that's section 6. Sherry will be the representative until the next census, and then we'll probably, hopefully, Mr. Bunchbach has, and his partner, I don't know, what's your partner's name again?
Rick Bush.
Rick Bush, hopefully they have lots and lots of people that move in there, and that we do have to redesignate zones, but right now, there's no necessity to do anything. So Sherry, of course, is downtown. She's going to take that as an extension. Taxation and so this is 7.1, abatement of portion of property taxes. So I kind of beat that to death, so I'm not going to go over it again. But it really sets up what the state code is and how you do it. Like I said, there's been some conversation about that. I don't think it's done with either. I mean, we can always do an EDA in the economic development area and even change that if we want to. This is definitely an economic development area. I mean, since we have construction, we also have an interesting zoning issue there too. So there's a lot of stuff for council to work with down there. The territory, okay, so annexation. The territory described is hereby annexed to and made a part of the corporate boundaries. Upon the effective date, the territory and its residents are entitled to the rights and subject to the duties and laws applicable to others in the city, except as modified herein. So upon annexation, that will occur. You'll become citizens of Aurora. So filing a notice after adoption. So guess what? The process, even if you pass this, it's not over with. There's a remonstrance period, 90 days. I believe I calculated that to be about, if it passes today, it'll be about May 8th will be the last day, and then that's when everybody will actually become a part of the city. Severability, that's standard lawyer jingo saying that if I screwed up in one of those, don't make the whole thing illegal, right? Repeal of conflicting ordinances, once again, that's boilerplate, basically saying that this is going to take precedence over everything else. And so this ordinance shall take effect 90 days after publication of notice to file a remonstrance. So publication is probably going to be next Thursday, and that's also when I'll be sending out letters to everybody. So that's the ordinance. Like I said, it seems long, but it really could be a lot longer. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? I don't, Mayor, do you want me to open up to the public or anything like that, or you just want the council? I mean, any comments from?
You can. Melvin.
Will it be sidewalks for people to be able
No.
to walk? No? Okay. How many
It's the
citizens,
state road. We can't put sidewalks.
okay, how many citizens is it gonna bring to the city?
There's 33 properties coming right now.
Say if there's 2 in each house, say 66.
And then.
plus the buildings and everything else that are being built. Yes, Lisa?
You said that, all the places have utilities except for Brett's. What does that mean?
He just,
Have utilities?
the utilities are already available there. They're already available through there. They just haven't been extended down to Brett and his place down on,
What utilities are you talking about?
water and sewer.
Well,
Gas.
he's before me, so does that mean I don't?
No, not in that house. He's talking about his property down there by the cemetery.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one's also going to be in.
Yeah, all that right in there. That county road will be a city road now, and
Gotcha.
we'll be able to do what we want to do in there.
Any other questions or comments? Any comments or questions from council?
Brett? Okay. Well, get a vote?
Need a motion?
Need a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve them.
I'll second it.
John A. second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you, Lucas. Yeah, I'll just put 2026 in there. What I'm gonna do is probably.
Lisa, did you see where he corrected that ready, to where it doesn't jump all the way down? Okay, he
So can we do
did.
hers? I'm not around.
Yeah. I'll get you a re-signed clean copy.
Okay.
But let's get it going tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for grabbing that.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm talking a lot tonight. We can move on to,
What are we moving on to now? Do we need to sign anything around that, or are we doing that?
It's, where it's going out is.
Oh, you're signing, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll ask.
Okay.
All right, Austin, do you want to handle the Little League grant?
Yeah, so last year we received a grant from the Rising Sun Community Foundation to make upgrades to our Little League fields. Right after these upgrades were made, they had a massive tournament. I personally think it was very successful. You know, they go out, they go to the restaurants after, there's a lot of people, lots of cities, lots of towns, so. The Little League fields, right, baseball, America's pastime, great for our kids, they, still need a lot of love, just being realistic, so. The mayor and I found about $40,000 worth of work, and it all addresses drainage for the most part. So right when you get down to the Little League fields, there's that path, the very first path on the right. We believed it was unsafe. It needs rails, it needs a new sidewalk, the bushes need trimmed back. So that was one part. Another part was a concrete pad by the field in the middle where everyone sits. So that is by a drain. The drain was higher than the ground. So the water was flooding all around the dugout. And there was really nowhere for adults to stand close and watch the kids. Sometimes the dugouts were getting flooded because of it, which is a problem. So concrete pad there, and then drainage that goes from the playground across the blacktop and then down to the drain. The drain is being re-leveled to make it level with the ground so that it actually works. And then the pipe from the playground is because, I don't know if you were aware, but the playground had some black oily residue leaking out from under it. And we got concerns that, you know, is this safe for kids? We couldn't figure out what it was. So we dug up that entire playground, remulched it. The problem's gone, but we want to add the drainage to make sure that it doesn't come back. And that's pretty much the bulk of it. I know that doesn't sound like much, but there's a pretty significant amount of concrete work there to make better sitting areas and reduce where the water tends to pile up. So the lowest and best quote by far was for $40,000. I went to the Rising Sun Community Foundation and said, you know, hey, you guys blessed us with this last year. We would like to keep it going. Would you be interested in funding this grant for us so that we can make more improvements? They said absolutely, but they were only able to give us 30 grand. Very grateful for that. But that leaves us with a $10,000 deficit. So the mayor had put on here to basically explain everything going on with that and ask if council was interested in providing the remaining $10,000 so that we can do the entirety of this project. So I guess first, is there any questions? Is there any detail you want to look at? I don't really have drawings or anything, because I just walked it with each person with a checklist that provided a quote and said, you know, concrete from here to here, drainage from here to here, that kind of thing. But I'd be happy to walk it with anyone who's curious. We did get the check for the grant money, so we're just kind of waiting to see how this conversation goes.
So where are you looking at taking the 10,000 out of to apply to it?
I'd say miscellaneous. We got 50, 60 in there,
Something like
something
that.
like that.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
Miscellaneous
go.
fund.
Just miscellaneous, okay.
Yeah.
So the mayor's fund, basically, right?
What's that?
The mayor's fund, right?
I don't think I got that much in there, do I?
So we'll remove the 10,000 from miscellaneous to apply to this. We got
Yeah.
60 grand, you said?
Yeah. And we've done a lot of upgrades lately. I know when Guinevere was here, she went down to Rise of Sun with me, and we got, oh shoot, they did almost $90,000 worth of stuff there. I forget the amount of the grant that we got, but we put all new lights and everything in there.
All the structures, the playground structure, roofs were replaced, the new ball, playground set with South Dearborn STEM involvement, third and fourth graders, catchers, mitt. So Rising Sun Regional Foundation has been a great partner with
Yeah.
the city of Little Rock.
Yeah.
That's awesome to be able to get a $30,000 grant and then match it with 10,000 from the city. That's gonna have a big impact.
Oh, yeah. Much needed. We're getting there.
And they're not just, like, it's not just representing South Dearborn, anybody can play in those. little
No, and
leagues.
that was part of the grant too. I think that's why we got the grant, because it's Manchester, Morse Hill, Dillsboro, everybody, Rising Sun, Lawrenceburg, all these kids come down here, they play tournaments, they go back and forth, and
Yeah.
it's for all kids, not just Aurora.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we pay $10,000 toward the ball field for the kids.
All right,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? All right. Yay for the kids. All right. Yeah, it's gonna look nice. There's still always so much to do though down there. I remember when they had the seats in the hillsides, the metal seats.
yes.
I don't know whatever happened to those things. Yeah. All right, Jared, new business.
So I got two ordinances for you today. They basically, you know, we've done that thing where you get to pass them on first reading. You do not get to pass these, are zoning ordinances. So you, unfortunately, this is only gonna be a first reading. The first one I have for you is make sure I got you two down there. There we go. Ladies, there's 1 and 2 there. So the first one I have here is an ordinance amending the B2 zoning ordinance to create a police a conditional use for tobacco and vape retail stores. And so our B2 right now has conditional uses for retail. We really don't specifically call out vape shops as one of our recommended uses. But we've been, you know, basically it is one of those weird things that it is kind of like a retail shop. But I think there were some concerns from, I think it started with our planning commission with the vape shops being too close to the schools and churches, that like liquor stores and the rest, having a little buffers in them between your schools and your churches is probably not a bad idea, especially since, you know, the vaping's become so prevalent with kids nowadays. The issue is this ordinance is going to be an ordinance to amend to create a conditional use for vape shops, but to say that if you're going to have a vape shop, it has to be 150 feet from door to door from the school to the vape shop. Any questions or anything else like that?
What about firearms? Or is that a different subject?
We don't have anything, you know what?
'Cause I'm thinking ATF, right?
Yeah, we have no, I'd have to check the code about gun shops. Is there one we have in town?
Well, Jacobson's used to be a gun shop,
Yeah.
but it's not to say that they couldn't open again. I mean, who's to say what's gonna come to town, right?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean-
you got it. I mean, that's,
Do you want somebody selling a gun, 50 feet away from a school?
I'm not gonna make a call, because that's not my job, I just ride
I'm
with the
just
family.
thinking.
You tell me, so the issue is this, is that you guys should be thinking about stuff like that. But that's not this ordinance, right? But when you talk about guns, You know, there's other issues like, do you want a fireworks store downtown? You know what I mean? Do you want to,
I
you
was
know?
just thinking ATF, alcohol, tobacco,
Yeah.
fire, you know, firearms. because
Sure.
That's what they.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this,
Law enforcement.
you guys, that is a specific use that, for safety, that you guys could absolutely create an ordinance on if you so choose, to regulate gun shops in town. I don't know if it's been an issue, but no one thought vape shops was gonna be an issue in downtown, and here you go, they're here.
4 of them are.
Yeah,
Popping up like a car wash.
absolutely. So that's a good question.
Has zoning approved this?
Yes,
Okay.
this is recommended from all these, both of these in front of you. Planning and zoning has approved both of these.
So is this just the reading, is that what that?
Here's the first reading, we have to go next week, or next month.
Next one, okay.
Mhm.
All right, let's jump to
So
the
you
next one.
said, similar, so is the alcohol, places that serve alcohol have the same restrictions? also?
Yeah, but they don't fall under zoning, weird enough. They have it under their licensing. So for them to sell alcohol, they have to follow special rules. So we don't really control them because the state itself is kind of, you know, our home rule is that we can do whatever we want as long as the state doesn't want to do something about it. And the state has done something about alcohol sales. So you can't have without special permission, you can't have it next to a church or a school. I think it's just church actually for, I don't know. They have their own licensing is the answer.
They go for Catholics?
But it's not in our ordinance for the.
Yeah, we have no
Because we have no
alcohol
say.
ordinance, but because it's actually, and I bet you there's something about guns too. I'm not sure about that licensing at the state.
Sergeant House may have some information on that.
So I'm just under the assumption, I've talked to the guys at Royal Pawn is one that they sell guns down there. And I know that they have rules to where, you know, after hours, they have to put them in locked bars where they're behind everything, just to prevent, I mean, for safety purposes, that people, you know, if somebody broke in, they're not able to access them. So, I mean, overall, for firearm safety, I mean, we've never had any issues with Royal Pawn or anything like that.
Well, there's your answer on it. I mean, so they do have requirements they have to hit under state law. So we probably don't,
So
so,
like where Jacobson's was, that's pretty close to a school.
Yeah.
That's right behind preschool.
yeah.
If you look at Aurora, there's a church or a school every couple of blocks, so you're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're
Just
right.
saying, you know, I mean, there is, so yeah.
Pretty much.
Any other comments, or do you want me to move on, or?
Yeah. go on.
Sorry.
First reading, we're good.
Yeah, so we're not passing it this
No,
one.
good just reading.
So the next one is, this is one Nicole came up with. This is ordinance number 2026-02, and it's an ordinance creating an exception to the placement or construction of a mobile home or manufactured home. And so what it is we kind of designate our agricultural area as the place. If you want a mobile home or a manufactured home, that's where we want them to have it. However, we had a gentleman in town, and I don't want, of course I'm not gonna bring up his name, but his house burnt down. He had a manufactured mobile home, and Nicole kind of got me, and she said, this guy just wants to put the same home up again. And so that's pretty much this. This gives this gentleman the ability to build a house. He has to, she put some pretty tight rules on it. Basically, you can't just burn down your mobile home if you already have a pre-existing use, so you can build yourself another one. It has to be basically act of God, or something you didn't do intentionally. And then if you're going to replace it, it has to be the same size or bigger. It still has to conform to all the lot setbacks and everything like that. You get it's basically, you get to put the same house back that burnt down on you. So, it's right now it's for one individual in town, but I don't know, it just kind of struck me as kind of one of these, I don't know, where a city can do some kindness, I guess. So, like I said, any questions or anything else about that, or?
On this specific individual, is it a mobile home or a manufactured home?
I believe it's a mobile home.
No, it's manufactured.
Is it manufactured? Okay. I'm not even sure where it's at, to be honest with you.
It's up, on Ray Heights up there, up on top of the hill. Utterback, that's who it is. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of them up in there, I went up there and drive around just to check it out. It's like, man, putting a mobile home in here with all these houses, well, 90% of them are all mobile, manufactured homes anyway. It's easy to say mobile home. And with this, he still gets the same setbacks and everything, so if things have changed, like where it's 5 feet setback, where he is now and it changed to a 10, he can still build it at 5. But with this ordinance too, you can't build a smaller one, it has to be the same size or bigger. And he's gonna put in a nice bigger one too, so. So it's, you know, we can make ordinance and do things like that, but certain situations like this come along, it makes you rethink, how could we change this to help the people that are already there and have something like that?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's it. Any other questions or anything? So once again, zoning, we have to wait till next meeting. All right? And of course, planning, of course, approved this one as well.
All right, looks like public comment. Anybody got anything? Nothing? All right, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
Adjourn. Right at 10 o'clock. Oh, man. Missed the freaking